17 minutes.
Let's pivot, speaking of couches, to some NBA medals. Nuggets, Pelicans, Friday night. Nikola Jokic rolling right now. He had 29, 13, and 10 in a win. But Nick still needs more from the big fella for a medal. Nick, which three guys had podium-worthy performances this weekend?
All right, I'll be quick here. Russ gets a bronze, even in a loss. 30-point second-half performance as Russ. Was Russ turning a corner? Or were the Lakers smartly reminding the league, put Russ on a bad team, look how fun it is. Hey, Knicks, hey, Kings, hey, Wizards, want to undo the trade? Let's talk about it right before the deadline. Silver medal, Ice Trae Young. If yesterday couldn't be any worse for me, hand to God, I had the Lakers plus 7.5. Nice little early game. This game's tied with a minute and a half left. They lose by 8. It was a sign of things to come for me, my life, my financial well-being, and potentially my marriage. Awful. Giannis gets the gold. I don't know what Giannis did.
Come on, more energy.
It was Friday. Shut up.
Come on, buddy.
You shut your dirty mouth, Wilds. 38 for
Power
Giannis
through it.
in a win over Wild's favorite team, the Knicks. Bing bong in your head. It's the medals.
Bing bong. Nick, we got to do it one more time. Got to head to Arrowhead one last time. Was yesterday. I got a question then. Okay, fine. Was yesterday worse for Patrick Mahomes or for Nick Wright? We will discuss.
That's not the question.
Joe Burrow.
That is not
the question. I'm making it. I just made it.
That is the question.
Joe Burrow showing off some bling post-game. Here we go.
Joe, being a good reporter, I've got to ask about the jewels. Are they real, and what are they?
They're definitely real. I think I make too much money to have fake ones, so, these are real.
First things first, we head back to Arrowhead. Chiefs and Bengals, final seconds of the first half. KC up 21-10, trying to score on their fourth straight drive. Add 7 more before the break, but Tyreek Hill stopped short of the goal line as time runs out. KC failed to get into the end zone rest of the game, and it cost him. Here was Patrick Mahomes on what went wrong before halftime.
I knew that the time was low, obviously. I knew we needed to get points. We called a play that we were trying to get someone over the middle quick, and then I was supposed to throw the ball away. I got a little greedy there and try to give to Tyreek and get a touchdown. They had 2 people out there, so definitely. I mean, in the long run of things, it looks bad, but if we had another chance, I would have went for another play again.
All right, we got Mike Vick back with us. Mike, Nick said earlier the game flipped on this play. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do think somewhat it changed the dynamic of the game, but, throughout the first 2 quarters, they had moved the ball so easily up and down the field. I can see why, they made this attempt. Everything was going into everything was in their favor up until that point. But this is what I learned, throughout the course of this season. A lot of teams going for it on 4th down and just giving it a go. Especially in the red zone, you got to take the points. I was watching that game, and even though Andy Reid has an arsenal of players, and I know he got a plethora of goal line plays that he can get the ball into the end zone with, sometimes it's just safe to take the points. And in that situation, you trust in Patrick. It's only 5 seconds on the clock. If it's not there, you got to get rid of it quick. And that's the mental clock that has to be playing in Patrick's head. So he got a little greedy, like he said. He went for it all. Everything was going good for them up until that point. So they had a little bravado. And I understand why he went for it. But still, at the end of the day, Andy's trusting Patrick to get rid of the ball. Obviously, 3 points would have helped. It would have made it a 2-touchdown game, 14-point game. And it would have been much tougher for the Cincinnati Bengals to come back from that. So, they did what they did. They did convert it, and, it cost them.
Yeah, I think this flipped the game entirely because I think it for some reason, and I can't explain it, but all the data suggests it wrecked Mahomes' head. He was just like he was a different player from the moment he threw that pass against Green Bay for the next 2 months. He was a different player from the moment he threw this pass until the end of the game. This was the worst half of football Patrick Mahomes has ever played. And it came after arguably the best 6 consecutive possessions he had ever played. Think about what led to this. Touchdown strike with less than 2 minutes remaining against the Bills, followed by the 13-second drive, followed by the game-winning drive in overtime, followed by to start this game, touchdown, 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 and then drove him down the field in a minute to the 1-yard line. And then from that moment forward, he has 50 yards, he has 2 picks. He seemingly forgets time, score, situation. And so I don't blame, I want to make this clear. I don't blame Andy. If there were 2 seconds left, then you are choosing touchdown or 0 points. With 5 seconds left, Andy thought he was choosing take a quick shot or then we'll throw it away and get the field goal. I don't think I don't think Andy thought this was going to be the final play of the half unless they scored a touchdown on it. And it's not like the Bengals did something brilliant. Patrick just made a massive mental error. And I've watched every snap he's played of his career. Broussard, he's made mistakes due to trying to do too much. He's made physical errors like, he doesn't set his feet, and, those types of mistakes. I've truly never seen him make the, oh, my God, I essentially lost track of time and score mistake. And I think it rattled him. And I don't think it helped that for Cincinnati, it left the margin at the exact margin it was at when they played the Chiefs a few weeks ago. I'm not a big momentum guy, but I am a big guy of, you don't want a team to have belief. And they were down 11 against the Chiefs a few weeks ago. Not 14, not 18, down 11. And I think that played into their confidence in the second half.
All right, Nick, stop it. Stop. This is an excuse. All right, I get it. Is this a coping mechanism? This is a coping mechanism because they lost? I don't know what in the world this is. That was a mistake of trying to do too much.
Yes.
You're right. I'm not mad at Andy Reid. I think it's the right call. But if you don't have it quick, throw it away, then you kick the field goal. He was trying to do too much. This wasn't a brain freeze. Oh, where am I at? No. And I don't think it ruined him for the rest of the game mentally. This is a guy that came back a week ago with 13 seconds left, all right, and won the game. This is a guy that came back in the Super Bowl down with 8 minutes left to play and all that. So he's been in bigger situations than this. So I don't think that mentally he was a mess. I think what happened, your Kansas City Chiefs are a lot like you. They get too cocky. All right? They get too obnoxious. And they thought this is a cakewalk, 21-3. And just like you were thinking, 42-17. We know this is a cocky team. A couple of wins after starting 3-4, and they're on national TV talking about, we got our swagger back. Oh, all that mess. They got cocky. And Mike, you notice sometimes in a professional game, because even between great and good teams, the margin of difference is small. So sometimes you relax. You think you got it made. You got the game in your back pocket. And then they start coming at you and you can't get it back, Wilds. And I think that's what happened. The Chiefs thought it was over. This is simple. And Cincinnati rushed back and got in the game, and the Chiefs could never get their mojo back. So, Wilds, I'm not buying Nick's thing. I'm saying they got too cocky, and that's what happened.
I think you're right. And look, we talk about the Chiefs having their swagger back more often than we should because it gives Broussard an opportunity to do his impression. But there's something real there, Mike. Because when the Chiefs got their swagger back, they admitted that they had lost it for a little while. And what Nick is pointing to, it feels like they came out in the second half and they had lost it. Have you ever had an experience in a game where your confidence was on a little bit of a roller coaster, and how did that affect you? And more germane to this storyline, do you think it was a confidence factor that hurt the Chiefs?
Well, I think when you come out of the first half and you don't get points, you really start that second half thinking, what if? I mean, you look at the scoreboard and this is, in real time, and you know that 2-touchdown lead, would have been enough, to put them in a position where, they had to do everything, exhaust every opportunity to come back. And then you come out in the second half and now you pressing. And now you're still thinking about what happened at the end of the half. And you can't really get out of your head. I think Chris just said it. You try to get it back, but it just don't come back. And then Cincinnati, for them, it just gave them more confidence. They get the ball back, they go down and score, and now it's a different dynamic to the game. So I can't recall ever being in a situation like that. I just know sometimes when the momentum shift in the National Football League, it's just hard to overcome that. And it usually takes a big play, a big run, something to get the crowd into it and get the energy back. They just never got the energy.
And the other element is this. The Chiefs have a ton of experience in the playoffs, Jenna, of coming back on people. They have never had an experience of a team coming back on them. All their playoff victories are either blowouts, start to finish, or they came back.